Welcome back to Midlife Love Out Loud. I have a wonderful episode today with Joe Hoye in the house. Who's Joe? I'll tell you in a second. Hi, Joe. Good to have you here.
Hello. Thank you, Junie. Super happy to be here.
I'm really happy to have you here because we really have not addressed this topic, which is fitness, health, bodies in the second half of life. And we have bodies, we need to know what to do with them. So I'm excited to dive in. Let me share with everybody who you are and what you do. You are the owner of Hoye Fit. And although you're 29 years old, you decided to help build a health coaching and weight loss business that leans into women and moms entering in or past menopause, ditch the diets, regain control over their midsection, which is definitely an issue, and learn to have control over their body forever. That's kind of a huge statement. Have control over your body forever. Really? Seriously?
Absolutely. Because once you understand what your body needs, the whole process is really pretty simple. And I want to choose my words carefully when I say simple, because by no means is this easy, right? If it was easy, everybody would be perfect. They would be happy with themselves. It's a really hard process, right?
Yeah.
But it's not complicated. The things that we need to do, or the things that these ladies need to do to have that control, is just a few simple things over and over and over again.
And we're going to dive all into that. So being that I'm in this population as well, I'm going to just, before we got on, I was like, can I ask you anything? And he's like, you can ask me anything. So my first question, which I think a lot of women are asking, is 29-year-old guy, like seriously, what can you possibly know? I'm going to be like totally straight with you. Like, what's your background and how is it that you know women's bodies that you can support us?
Yeah,
Why should we listen to you?
Who the hell is this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been doing this for 5 years. You are not the first person to ask me that question. And I honestly didn't choose to work with this population. It's more that this population chose to work with me. And it's kind of a three-part story. So number one, growing up, I had two stepbrothers inside my house. They would spend a week with me and then a week with their other family, like their mom. And so when they were gone, it was just me and my mom in the house. And one day when I was about 13 years old, I was kind of entering my shithead stage of life, kind of being a rebel. And I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I'm bored. I don't know what I'm going to do. My homework's done. This is done. What can I do? She's like, I don't know, buddy. You can either stay home or you can come with me. I'm going to the gym. And so she introduced this incredible outlet to me that was the gym. And ever since that first day, I absolutely fell in love with it. Also growing up with two stepbrothers that were older than me, I was always the slow one, the small one, skinny, unathletic, you name it. And so as a young man, I always wanted to be the opposite. I wanted to be bigger, have muscles, be fast. And I chased that goal until I was 19. And I stayed extremely skinny, even though I fell in love with the gym thanks to my mom. And so that's the first part of my story, is being introduced to the gym by my mom, being super thankful for that. The next part is that I was extremely skinny, couldn't change it for the life of me. And after graduating high school, I decided to pursue a career in surgery. And so with that, I had to go to college and take courses around how the body works, how it responds to different things. One of those things being nutrition. So I took nutrition courses. And eventually I learned how to manipulate my body in a way that I wanted, or how I thought I wanted. So eventually I went from too skinny. I met my goal of getting to roughly 185 pounds, and I blew right past it. And I ballooned up to about 220, 225 pounds. So then I had a new problem. I was overweight. I still didn't feel good. I didn't feel good in my body or how my body looked, and I wasn't confident or happy with myself. And so I wanted to change that, and eventually I did. I went from 140 graduating high school up to about 225 in college, and I finally made my way down to 185 pounds. I was happy, I was energetic, I was confident, I was healthy. And growing up in a small town, everybody noticed. Everybody's like, wow, Joe, you went from really skinny to a little bit chubby, and now you look good. How'd you do it? And enough people had asked to where I figured out that I might have something here as far as a business. So I started helping people on the side. I got them great results. And eventually I got asked too many times and I couldn't do it for free. So I was like, all right, I will run these group challenges. I'll help you all achieve the body you want. And transparently, I thought that I wanted to help people like me, guys that were either too skinny or too big, just get to a body they want and feel great. So I started that. I started running these group challenges online. I spoke in a way that came very natural to me. And lo and behold, on the first challenge that I ran, the only people that signed up were moms. They were 40 plus. I spoke something that really resonated with them. And after that challenge, number one, I got them great results. Number two, I realized that I had such a good time. Like it
Aw,
was so fun just spending time with them. And
we're great.
you are great. I know you really are. But like just chatting with them on our weekly calls, connecting with them, hearing what their struggles are and helping them overcome it. And it was very satisfying to have them finally achieve that because they've been trying for years.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's the second part is I just connected really well with these ladies. And the third part is that, like I mentioned, I was working in surgery and on the surgical team, it was myself and six other girls. And for some reason, they decided that the one man on the team was the best option to go inside of the OB and GYN based rooms. And so I spent roughly 4 years in my career doing 40 hours a week plus on call emergency surgery, working next to and with OB and GYN doctors, racking their brain, learning everything I could about the female body. And all of that came together. So I wanted to pay back to my mom. I connected really well with these ladies, and I had a massive education that almost helped me understand women's bodies more than some women understand their own bodies. And
For
so that's why
sure.
I say I didn't choose this. Like
Wow.
it just
Okay.
came.
So love your story. You've learned a ton. Obviously, you've made a difference in so many women's lives. And as we know, women's bodies after menopause, when the hormone, or even during menopause, but mostly after menopause, most of the women that are here are mostly after menopause. Things change, hormones change. So, can you talk to how to have a healthy body and lose fat when you're over 40?
Yeah, absolutely. So number one, this is going to come down to a couple of things. There's not this one size fits all approach that's going to work for every lady. But the things we're going to need are a good mindset, being kind to yourself, not doing this because you want to punish yourself or change the way your body looks for a bad reason, but doing it because you love yourself, right? I think that it's okay to love how you look now and still want to become more because we can always
Mm,
become more. So having the right mindset entering this approach is going to be massive, but then also looking at a few of the really necessary pillars like nutrition. I'm not going to say dieting because we'll never do dieting. Exercise, finding the right type of exercise. So is that going to be cardio or strength training? That's something I'd love to get into. And then things like stress management, sleep, hydration, really just all the
yeah.
crucial things that our body needs, but doing it the right way.
Great, great. So let's dive into some of those because each of them have some golden nuggets. When it comes to nutrition, women's bodies need different things. Like the big thing I'm hearing over and over lately is post menopause, you want to have a lot more protein and you need to have those macros. Otherwise, you're going to lose muscle and well, take it away. What changes for women that help them have healthier bodies that is sustainable? And the other thing I want to add in, because the other thing you said is we don't do diets. And a lot of times people are thinking, yes, but this sounds like I'm going to be deprived. So bring in the deprivation aspect around macros and changing diet and nutrition for a healthy body after 40 or 50.
I love that. So number one, deprivation is never the answer. We generally go the complete opposite direction when we start working with someone. The reason that is because for the ladies that we generally work with, this is not the first thing they've tried, right? They've wanted to change their body for more than just the day that they started talking with us. It's been months or years. And so with that, they've done diets in the past. And all of those diets cause a lot of damage because restricting our body causes stress mentally and physically. And when someone gets too stressed, their body starts to fight back. And so the only way that you can fix that is by giving your body what it actually needs, which is calories, which comes from food, which means you need to eat a good amount of food to fuel your body, to feel good, to unstress it, and make it work with you rather than against you. The next thing I want to touch on is you're absolutely right. I think these ladies need to look at protein. I don't think they need to look at all three macros, which are going to be protein, carbs, and fat. It's just too complicated, right? I think for general life purposes, as long as somebody's eating all three macros in a healthy level, so protein, carbs, and fat, we're good to go. I never want to see somebody avoid any one of those, but protein and calories are going to be the main thing that people need to look at. And so calories, number one, that's going to decide whether somebody gains weight, maintains their weight, or loses weight. But there's different types of weight we can lose, right? Somebody could lose muscle, which if they lost their muscle, they wouldn't be very happy because they're not going to have that toned, defined, tight looking body that we all like. Somebody could lose water weight, right? All of our bodies retain water. That's not very healthy either because with no water, we're very dehydrated. We're at risk for injury and organ failure and things like that. But we could lose body fat. And that's going to be massive because as we lose our body fat, but we keep our muscle, we get this tight, defined, functional looking body that serves us well as we age. And so that's where protein comes in because while calories decide if we lose weight or not, protein decides what kind of weight it is that we lose. And so what we know is that while eating a low protein diet, you can absolutely lose the same amount of weight, but that weight's going to come in the form of muscle. It's going to wreck your metabolism, which means you're not going to be able to eat a lot of food without actually gaining weight. And so if we keep a high protein diet, a lot of good things happen. Number one, we lose body fat, which means we lose weight and fit into our clothes while keeping our muscle. As we keep our muscle, we also get to keep our metabolism high, which means we have the ability to burn and use a lot of our calories. And I'm speaking for myself here, but I always like to eat as much food as possible while not gaining weight, which means I can have tasty foods, go out with friends, enjoy Thanksgiving and Christmas, and not have to worry.
So calories are a thing, but what you're eating is more important. So you could have the same amount of calories, but it's not all equal. So if somebody wants to lose fat, they need more protein. Did I get that right?
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
so for someone that's wanting to apply this on their own, like if we have an action taker in the audience right now, my general rule of thumb, and this can be tough to get started with, so don't go straight to it immediately, work your way up. My general rule of thumb is if you have less than 50 pounds to lose, I would generally aim for 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Now, if you have more than 50 pounds to lose, sometimes that's not realistic, right? And I always like setting realistic expectations because if we set something unrealistic, we're much more apt to not meet that goal. And when we don't meet that goal, we feel like a failure. And when we feel like a failure, we lose motivation. We don't want
I just want to totally agree with you. And mindset is so huge, and we're going to get there. I'm going to just be really transparent. I'm 155 right now. So are you saying I need and I would like to lose about 20, maybe 25. I'm not really focused on pounds as much as my health right now. With that said, are you saying that my goal should be around 155 grams of protein a day? Because that sounds humongous to me and unachievable, to be really honest.
I would love to see that. You would feel incredible.
Holy shit. Are you serious?
Completely serious. And like I predicted this because like I said, it's very hard if you haven't hit that goal before. There's a very right way and a wrong way to do it. You know, could you fill yourself up with supplements, protein powders, all that, and hit that goal easily? Yes, it wouldn't be that difficult. It also wouldn't be that efficient. There are foods that are going to be high in protein that we can make taste amazing. And that's always the goal. It's like having you enjoy the recipes and the foods that you eat while still hitting your goals, because then it's fun.
My mind is blown right now. Okay, so I work with a functional doctor. So I have my protein shake in the morning that has a million billion wonderful things in it.
Sure.
27 grams of protein. That's a pretty good meal for to start off the day. Then this afternoon, I had an omelet with a whole bunch of vegetables, with broccoli and spinach, and I had 3 eggs on top of it with maybe a tablespoon or 2 of refried beans.
Okay.
Like that's not a lot of protein. Like I would have to have 100 grams of protein for dinner. How do you eat well and not eat a whole 16-ounce steak for today for me to be able to meet those goals? Because I'm sure I'm not the only one going, how the heck do you do it in a healthy way?
Absolutely. So number one, I want to give you credit because the two things you just mentioned are great. Like that omelet or egg scramble you made, that's massive. And you could beef up that recipe alone and add another 20 to 30 grams of protein very simply.
How?
Right. So
How?
number one, right, we're gonna have, let's walk through that meal. What was it, an egg scramble? Was it an omelet? What was it?
It was a scramble.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
This is where I might lose a few people. Bear with me here. Do you like cottage cheese?
I try to stay away from cow dairy, so I might do
Okay.
feta or goat cheese.
Okay, got it. So I'm gonna throw this little hack in, not for you, but maybe for a listener. For
Okay.
somebody that's okay with cottage cheese or enjoys it, what I want to see you do with an egg scramble or an omelet or something like that is as you're whisking the eggs together, add in 1 or 2 servings of cottage cheese to the eggs. And number one, it increases your protein massively. Number two, it makes the eggs so much creamier and amazing for an omelet or a scramble. So it's
This
a
is
win.
so fun. This is so fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
okay. I'll have to talk to my doctor about that. He's like, no cow. But okay, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. We don't need that for you.
Yeah.
The other thing is if it's a scramble, I love the cheese ideas that you're using. I actually have a cheese downstairs that's high protein. I can't think of the name right now, but I can send it to you if we want to put it in the show notes.
Very
That would
cool.
be massive is just a simple swap like that. Or think of your favorite meat, right? So we can do breakfast sausage, Canadian bacon, which is going to be lower in fat than regular bacon. We can do steak, and simply putting a little bit in that is going to go a long way.
Love it. Beautiful. So, okay. I could ask you a zillion questions about my diet, but we have another purpose here.
We'll
So,
talk after.
more protein, and I get it. Sounds great. So, anything else you want to add in reference to women's needs for losing weight when it comes to nutrition and balancing hormones? For example, I have a friend of mine who works with people nutritionally to balance their hormones. And she says it's really important to have a high protein meal within an hour of waking up. That's her thing. I'm just curious, what's your take on how many meals a day and what's best for a woman in menopausal and wanting to be in the best health and shape of their life?
Yeah, so I like that you mentioned hormones because that's going to be massive for these ladies. Number one, I like that idea that your friend has around protein. I want to emphasize calories, the amount of calories, right? I can't speak for your audience because I don't know them. I can speak for mine. And I know that 90% of mine are not eating enough food. And so when we don't eat enough food, like I said, we drastically stress our body. One of those big stresses is going to be directly to our thyroid, right? And when our thyroid gets mad, everything else gets mad. And a massive cause of that is under eating. So figuring out how much food your body actually needs, giving it that amount of food is huge for number one, feeling good, number two, hormone balance, and then having the ability to manipulate your body in the way that you want when you want.
Great. One more question about nutrition, and then I want to move on to one of the other pillars that are so important, which which I had the thought, hold on a second. This is in real time here. Oh gosh, I had it. All right. It was something, but we're talking about nutrition. We're talking about protein. Oh man, what was it? Hormones. Dang, I totally lost it. This might be a first.
That's okay.
What
No
haven't I
worries.
eaten today to get my brain going? You know what? Maybe it'll come back. So let's go to let's go to brain support here. I really am surprised. This has never happened to me, but hey, and I'm not even cutting this. This is just reality. So people learn how to lose weight. People learn how to eat well. Oh, that's what it was. Ding, 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 ding.
Cool.
See,
Love it.
sometimes it takes a while. Of course, that's the menopausal brain sometimes. What if somebody is plant-based? Because there might be a vegetarian or even a vegan here that's going, oh, well, this sounds great, but wow, how do I get those protein calories with a vegetable diet, plant-based diet?
Yep. So that's huge. And complete transparency, that's not my specialty.
Okay.
Do I have a coach that can help with that? Yes, it's not me. And that's why I have a coach that can help with it.
But it can be done.
Absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely. What I can speak on is that for vegans, for vegetarians, one thing that's really important is not just getting in your protein goals, but making sure those proteins are complete proteins, right?
Yes.
Because in the plant-based world, many are not.
Yep.
And your body is just not going to use them as efficiently as it otherwise would with a meat protein or any other complete protein.
Thank you. Let's go to fitness. What, the difference between weightlifting versus doing lots of cardio. What's your take on that
Love
for
it.
women of this
So
age?
people like to talk poorly on one or the other. It's not really my take. I don't think that cardio is great for fat loss. That doesn't mean cardio is not great, right? I think that cardio is great for cardiovascular health and also for a lot of people, mental health, which is huge. So if you like cardio, please continue doing it, right? Your brain needs it, your heart needs it, the scale doesn't need it. If you want to change the scale or how your body looks, I'd rather see you strength train. And so that comes from a couple of reasons. Number one, you can absolutely lose weight doing cardio, right? For the people that are listening saying, well, I lost 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds doing cardio, I don't doubt you. But that goes back to what I said earlier. What kind of weight is it that you lost? Was it muscle? Was it fat? Right? When we do cardio, we signal to the body to become more efficient, which means we're going to burn muscle rather than fat. And while some people have a goal weight in mind, I think we should be thinking more about our goal body, right? Because if I wanted to weigh, let's say 170 pounds, that's not a very clear picture because I could lose 25 pounds of muscle and weigh 170, and I would look like this tall, skinny sack of skin and body fat with no muscle. That's a nightmare to me, right? But if I lost 25 pounds of body fat and I kept all my muscle, oh, I would be on top of the world. I would feel incredible. So that's where strength training comes in. Number one, as we do that, it signals to your body that you need to keep your muscle and lose your fat. So that's the only thing you're going to lose. Number two, specifically for these ladies, 40, 50 plus, entering or past menopause, we know that every single year you're losing muscle mass. And so the one of the things that you can do to keep your muscle mass is strength training and tell your body you need to keep it. That's going to be massive. And then the other thing is just like a decrease in muscle mass every year, we also, or ladies also, have a decrease in bone density. So eventually they're going to cross into osteopenia and eventually they're going to cross into osteoporosis.
You are
And
so good. I just want to totally acknowledge the heck out of you. You're hitting all the most important parts. Sorry, I'm just so happy that you're here.
I've done this a couple times. Um, so I know we're talking about fat loss here and changing your body to be more confident, but we also want to look at someone's life. Like fat loss is great, but if your life sucks with it, it doesn't really matter. And so if you have weak bones as you age and you fall, like that's a massive disaster that we want to avoid. So strength training is going to be the thing that helps you avoid that by keeping you functional, number one, keeping you strong so that if you do have an accident, you're safe.
Yeah. Beautiful. And the last piece, I mean, we can spend so much time on all this. However, we can eat well-ish and lose weight and even get to the gym. However, what we know that happens over and over and over and over again is the over and over and over again, the start, the stop, the challenge of maintaining and sustaining and getting overwhelmed. And so a huge component is mindset. And as I shared with you, and I've shared with my followers, I was 200 pounds over 20 years ago. I've kept off all this weight for over 20 pounds. I couldn't have done it if I didn't work what was between my ears. I need to work on more of what we've been talking about. With that said, we need to talk about the mindset. So how do you work with women and what might you offer to the women that are like, I've done all this, it doesn't work?
So I'll try to go two different directions with this. Number one, we are not just a coaching program that's going to help you lose the weight. We're a coaching program that's going to help you keep the weight off.
Yes.
So we break our program into three phases. The first one's called our diet detox. It's where we get rid of any dieting history that you may have. The second phase is our lose it phase, very self-explanatory. We're going to help you lose the fat. But our third phase is called the live it phase. And the goal there is to help you just truly live your life inside of a body that you're healthy with, proud of, energetic in. Because I don't think that if somebody's lost 20, 30, 40, or 50 pounds, but then gained it back, they've truly been successful. I think success comes from keeping it off forever.
Yeah.
And that comes from just living a lifestyle that feels natural and normal to you
Yeah.
and loving yourself. You
So
know,
well said. So well said. This has been so amazing. Is there anything else you want to add before we share this amazing opportunity for someone that's listening?
that's all that I wanted to share. So take it away.
So good. So good. So I asked him, what gift might you have? And he said, one of you, if you apply, will win 6 months of free coaching, which no one has ever done. I think that is such an amazing gift to someone. And so there's going to be a link in the show notes to fill out a form and to talk about why it should be you. What else do you want to add to that? Do you want to share what that 6 months of coaching might be?
Yeah, absolutely. So number one, we're going to pick one winner to get this. And it is truly 6 months of free coaching. Like I said to you, Junie, before we hopped on, we're not going to sell you supplements. We're not going to sell you anything. We're just going to get you a great mindset, a good body, and make you happy and healthy. To win that, you're going to need to fill out 4 things for me. So it's your name, your phone number, your email. Please give me a real phone number and an email, because if not, I can't contact you if you're the winner. Okay.
Minor detail.
Minor detail. And then number 4, why do you deserve to win this? Right? Which is hard, because I think everybody deserves to have a great mindset, a great body, a healthy life.
Yeah.
But I want to be sold on this.
Beautiful.
So that's all I need.
And I just want to just really honor the heck out of you, because I know a shit ton about this arena, as do so many women that are wanting to lose weight, you know? And I just want to just really like, wow, you know your stuff. You really know your stuff. And I'm really thrilled to have had some time with you. Thank you for carving out some time for us today.
Thank you. This was super fun.
Yeah, you're awesome. You're awesome. All right, sister, that's our show for today. Wow. Like seriously, have a healthy body, have a healthy mind. This is all doable. And when you feel good in your body, it affects every aspect of your life. So keep on going, sister. And until next week, one more thing before you go. Have you taken my Discover Your Love Avatar quiz? It's a 2-minute quiz that can help you not only know your strengths, your superpower, because you have one, also identify some of your blind spots, some of the things that might be having you in your fear, having you behaving in ways that aren't in alignment with your highest self, the way you want to be when it comes to dating and relationships. And it'll also help you discover why maybe the stars haven't lined up for you yet. Bottom line is, you take this 2-minute quiz, you get a full report in your email with details on how to move forward in next level love, whether you want a partner or not. So you can go to midlifeloveoutloud.com/love quiz. The link is in the show notes as well. And if you haven't liked and subscribed to the station, I'm going to encourage you to do that too, so you don't miss any episodes. And I hope you got a ton out of today's. See you next week. Mwah.